2 p.m. If we can start the meeting by doing the flag salute, so can everyone please join us? Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, nation, indivisible, with justice. Next up, we'll do roll call. I'll call your name and then you say president for you. Commissioner Bateman. Commissioner Gong.
Here.
Commissioner James. Here. Commissioner Mustafa. Commissioner Sarah. Commissioner Francis.
Wait, which list are you?
Oh,
That's the minutes. Here, let me do it, okay? Okay. All right, you're looking at the main minutes. Okay, Chair Nguyen, so she is not here. Treasurer Francis. is here. Commissioner Abende. How do you pronounce your name?
No,
No.
there's not supposed to be.
Oh, hey, sorry. Abende. Commissioner Bayret. Commissioner Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner James.
here.
Commissioner Lai.
Here.
Commissioner Gong.
Here.
Commissioner Ortega. Commissioners Sandoval Rodriguez. And Commissioner
Right, next will be the approval of the May 13th, 2024 minutes. Can I get a vote to approve the minutes? The agenda minutes of May 13th, 2024.
A motion to approve the minutes from May 13th, 2024.
Can I get a second, Sarah?
I second to approve the minutes from May 13th, 2024.
By Commissioner Gong, second. Okay, so we have public comment on items not on the agenda. Do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments, but this is Sophia Romero, and she's going to be joining the commission once Nguyen term is. So she'll be taking it. But she's going to attend so she can see how she functions and learn about it.
Sorry, I skipped over. Do we have a secretary report?
Oh, yes, we do. The agenda packet was published on August 23rd, 2020.
Next up, we have a presentation for the orientation for the 2024 to 2025.
Correct. Okay. All right, so part of the orientation is we want you to get to know each other. And we're going to play a game. So you're gonna have to stand up, you have to move around. Let's take it, and you are going to get to know each other. Right, it is called blackout. And does anyone have a pen? Bigger pen? Let me get you. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand up. You're going to ask each other questions that are on here, and then you're gonna have that person sign off. So if I'm Gianna and I ask Baru, will you tell me your work? Okay, then I'm going to find someone else. I'm gonna ask Alfred, do you want to? Okay, Maya, do you, no, Jacob. Okay, I'm gonna go to Jacob. I'm gonna have him sign off, and then you're gonna just keep going and finding people to sign these different things off. Some of them, I am hoping that there's at least one person who attended a Taylor Swift concert at some point, but we shall see. All right, anyway, so let's start, mingle, get to know each other. And actually, Sophia, and then let's say two. Oh, wait, wait. Yeah. Wait,
Senior. If you want.
It's. Yes. No.
Wait, I think.
It's not a lot. Do you have? Yeah. You're good. Because I looked up the dates and then I needed to talk to you and then I was like. No. Yeah.
Not, I really good at this. When I was like five. It was 1989. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love
There is a prize for the first person who gets them all filled up.
Are you a senior in high school? You got it? Now it sounds like that. I do need one more. You are still on.
Oh, I tried.
Oh, do you want to go So I can. I'm seven. Right there, but you know. So. Yes, Sorry. Yeah. We were. Yeah. Oh, I've never. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just, wait.
I forget what, but I like to. It's like everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I dropped all the-
No, it's true. And that was just so much. Oh, it did. It was always. Yeah.
The city has-
Yeah.
What's in that?
Senior.
Yeah, versus, yeah, yeah.
It's like I've never been- I really have.
Is it good? Do you? Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah. I think the door was locked.
Are you done? No.
Sure. Do you want to be a politician? Yeah. You guys do your.
No, I do not.
I do. Do you want to be a politician?
I almost forgot.
Is anyone close to finishing?
No one likes red.
No one likes red?
I'm done.
Oh, you're done.
You wanna? I just.
Hey, all right, we're gonna do 2 more minutes.
4 minutes.
Wait, you like Troy? Yeah. Yeah, I think you did. No. I didn't. Wait, no, the lights back, the one, anyone, I wanna run the chair.
Who's this?
Paul and.
Oh my God, I guess I believe the sign. Up. I should have mentioned, you should have. We do have a winner.
Alfred's using the rest.
Yeah, all right, finish up, 1 more minute. All right, so who went to see Taylor Swift here?
Me.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you went last year. Okay, and who went to Washington DC? Oh, Drew.
I don't know if you can.
Looks like, I don't know, more than 8. Oh. All right, well, we do have a winner. And his name is candidate, who was the official Gilroy Youth Commission. Where it was from. Okay, here, all right. So we are back to the agenda. Let's start. Okay, so actually, if I can get your attention, especially for those of you who are facing. We're gonna go through the slides. This is not gonna be just me. And by the way, my name is Adam Hennig. I'm the staff liaison for this commission. This is Leanne Phillips. She is the executive staff liaison. She's also the head of human resources. She is the risk manager for the city, and she wears multiple other. And we will be your support. So if you ever have questions, if you don't understand something, whatever it is, need clarification, we're here. We are available, we're here. Anyway, so welcome to the Gilroy Youth Commission. And this is the orientation for this year. And this is our group last year. This was at the signature event, the Opportunity Fair. And most of the commissioners were there, so nice to see. Okay, so this is what we're going to be going over for this presentation. What is the Youth Commission? And for those of you who have seen this before, there have been some updates, but that's okay. If you've already experienced it, that's fine. In fact, you can help me explain what some of these things are, so it's not just me talking the entire time. We're going to talk about the Brown Act, meetings, what you need to know, absences, communication, bylaws, which actually will be voting tonight, plan, and lastly, you get to see the end of the year city council presentation that was delivered by the chair, Jamie Nguyen. All right, let's just move. Okay, so what is the Gilroy Youth Commission? Okay, so there are 11 of you who have been appointed by the city council, meeting the qualifications, which meant that you're between the ages of 13 and 19, and you live within the Gilroy Unified School District boundaries. So we had applicants, for example, who go to a GUSD school, but they don't live in the boundaries, live outside the boundaries. So as a result, they were ineligible to apply. So they were not going to. So your focus is to serve as an advisory group to the city council. That is your role. You are an advisory group. Don't have the power to make any sort of executive decisions without the city council weighing in. So you can make recommendations and provide input. Ultimately, it's the city council that will be implementing any decisions that this commission will be. I know it seems obvious, but you are representing the youth and the teens of Gilroy. What are their interests? What are the issues? What are the areas that they're focused on? Where's the underrepresentation happening? Where is there anything where the city is missing, they're not addressing? There's an issue going on. The city can can be involved. We'll talk a little bit more. As I mentioned, with the city staff that's involved with the commission. And by the way, this picture, just so you notice, Alfred or Maya, do you want to tell us what's going on here? Why are you sitting there?
This was this was our senior tech week we held last year in I want to say the first or second week of January. And pretty much we came to the senior center for like 2 hours, something like that, for about days during that week. And we had a table set up in the back, and Adam made an announcement and said that we were there to help them sort of figure out how to use their devices, because a lot of them surprisingly they got like phones and computers and tablets and stuff, but they didn't know how to use it, like for Christmas. So we were just there to help them like figure out how to use it and give them assistance.
I know Commissioner Gong was involved. Anyone else? AMA was involved? Okay, so meetings are typically, I say typically because obviously this month it wasn't, held on the second Monday of each month at 6 o'clock during the school year. So there's no meetings in June, no meetings in July. And the reason this meeting was moved to the end of August is because the school year didn't start until anticipate that there might be absences. If there's not enough people present, we can't have a meeting, which we will discuss. Okay, the commission will also be developing a work plan. They will also be presenting that and at the end of the school year to the city council. There's also the commission webpage, which has information for the public to find out about who's on the youth commission, what's it all about, when are the meetings, things like that. I mentioned this already, the Brown Act. All right, so for those of you who were on the commission last year, what is it? What is the, and why is it called the Brown? Don't all raise your hands at once. Come on, someone's got to remember. What is the Brown Act?
It's something about like, you can't talk about like certain things outside of meetings or something like that, or like,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. What else? So that's a big part of the Brown. Why is it called Brown?
I don't know what it's called, but how they have this one person, but I know that the meetings have been posted.
Yes. Yes. What else? No.
It's like the general, like formality.
Exactly. All right. So all of those things are true. This is why it's called the Brown. Ralph M. Brown. He was a California state legislator during the 1940s and the 1950s. And when he went to Sacramento, he noticed how when there was an important meeting going on, no one knew about it. So all of these lawmakers were meeting behind closed doors, making really important decisions that affected all of the residents of California, and no one knew about it. And so people couldn't provide their input. They couldn't find out what was going on. They would only find out until after the decisions were. He thought, God, this shouldn't be. This is not how it should work. People need to know. These are voters. They have the right to know what's going on. They're paying for it, right? Through taxes. They're voting you in. They should know what's going on so they can have an understanding of what is happening in Sacramento. And so he helped establish a state law that guarantees the public's right to attend and participate in meetings of local legislative bodies. So this applies not only to the youth commission, but to all city commissions. It applies to the city council. It applies to the county board of supervisors. It applies to the school district. Any public agency throughout the state of California, it applies to, but it only applies in California. So if you go to New York, they probably have something similar, but it's not called the Brown. They have different rules, different regulations. But in California, whether you are in Chula Vista or you are in Chico, or you're in Gilroy, everyone should be abiding by the Brown Act. And every so often in the news, you hear about violators. And sometimes it can lead to a forced resignation or fine. And sometimes it's just a letter letting you know you violated the Brown Act. Do it again, there could be more times. So it is taken very seriously and it does apply to this commission. So you may not be old enough to vote, but because you are a public body, it does apply to you. And we're going to talk about. So how does it apply to the youth? So meetings are always open to the public. Did you notice that when you walked in, there was a sign that said Youth Commission? And so we have to let people know where it is, because otherwise, if someone shows up, they're not gonna know where to go. That's why the door is open, there's a sign outside. If you went by City Hall in the last 72 hours, you would see that the agenda is posted with all of the other meeting agendas. If you go online, you will find that the meeting agenda and the meeting packet, which is what you received right here. So the agenda is just the first 2 pages. The packet is all of the staff reports, minutes, information. So that has to be available too. If only 2 of you show up, can we have a meeting? What about 5? What about 7? Why 7?
Could be because there's like a majority.
So there are 11 commissioners, so we have to have how many to have a meeting? If there's not 6, we don't have a meeting. Now, the meeting starts at 6. We have a grace period of 15 minutes. So if the 6th person walks in, I've seen this many times, not so much with this commission, but other commissions, we can still have a meeting. But if it's past 6:15, we can't have a meeting. Even if someone walks in at 6:06, and then it's too late. And then you have to either reschedule it or you just cancel. You cannot, I cannot post the agenda for the meeting. It's not fair to the public. They don't have time to look at the agenda, maybe send me an email as a staff person, or look into a matter that's on the agenda. So we have to provide them with sufficient notice. So how does this apply to you? Actually, most of these things have already been mentioned. You can, so whatever's on this agenda, and I know many of you go, you have to be careful what you talk about. So, for example, you can, Rue and Maya, you're gonna get it too. Yeah. Okay, so Rue can ask Maya, hey, what time does the meeting start? That's fine. It's totally. For Rue who doesn't drive, ask Maya, hey, can I get a ride tonight? That's. For Rue goes, hey, Maya, what do you think about the work? That's where, now you're starting to talk about the content. And that's where it starts. So when you see each other outside of an official meeting, you have to be really careful what you're talking about. Probably it's best not to talk about the commission, even though that's the thing that you have in common with one another. Just avoid. And the reason why is that if enough of you are talking about the same issue, you're having a meeting. You don't even realize. It doesn't just have to take place in this room. It could just be friendly, casual conversation at a restaurant. All of a sudden, if there's enough of you, you're violating the Brown Act. So to avoid that, best not to talk about anything that is on the agenda or that will likely be on the agenda. Sometimes it's hard to predict, but if it's something that's already been discussed, just hasn't shown up on the agenda, probably best. And I've already mentioned this, but we cannot hold a meeting. So again, it needs to be a public space. The senior center is open to the public. It's part of the civic center. City Hall's right there, the library's here, police department's right next door. So it can't be in someone's home. It has to be. This is the one that most people usually aren't too familiar with. Serial meeting. And this keeps changing with technology. For example, if I'm going to use someone else's family, and Emily are texting one. Okay, they're not talking, they're texting. And again, they're talking about the work. Is that considered a meeting? Or would that be considered a violation? They're not talking to each other, they're just texting. What do you think? Yeah, could be. Yeah, so again, whether you're texting, whether you're talking on the phone, whether you see each other in person, anytime you are communicating information about what is on the agenda, what's going to be on the agenda, could be a violation. So best practice is avoid. Again, you're more than welcome to communicate with each other. Recommend avoiding talking about anything that is on the agenda. And one of the reasons why is we don't want you as commissioners to make decisions behind the story. If it's any action or discussion of an item not put in. So it's important that you don't start. So Dan May, for example, want everyone to, let's see, he wants to, because the election is coming up in November, he wants to host a pool. He wants to get candidates here, city council, for governor, for the US Senate, and he wants the commission to be involved. And he starts lobbying all of you to do it. But he's not doing it during a meeting, he's doing it behind closed doors. That's what we want to avoid. We don't want you to influence each other when it's not in a place.
Also, if you just talk to one person, so Anne talks to Emily, how does, then Emily goes and talks to Gianna, and Gianna sees Maya, and then now there's all these different people involved, and even though you weren't directly talking to the person, if it's getting passed on that, oh, you're gonna vote this way on this item, or this is how you feel about this item, now it's kind of getting into this passing of information and decisions being made and influenced before you even get into this meeting space and provide all the information and have your discussion as a group in public.
And that is a serial meeting. So one of the things, if you look on the agenda, and if you look where it says new business, so go to page 2 toward the middle where it says elections, and if you look at 8.1, and we go to number 2, it says public comment. This is really important. So this is where the public can weigh in on the discussion. And I've seen it where there's enough people from the public, or just takes one person. They may sway someone to vote a different way. And that way we have, this is a democracy. This is interaction. And this is why it's important to have the meetings open.
You should come to the meeting with an open mind, hear all the information, and then make your decision on how you're gonna vote on that. Versus already having your mind made up because somebody influenced you or somebody talked to you outside. So try to come to these meetings with an open mind, that you're gonna hear the staff presentation, you're gonna hear feedback from your fellow commissioners, and then you're gonna make a decision.
Good rule of thumb, when in doubt, don't say anything. All right, meetings, okay. Would anyone like to volunteer and explain how does the meeting run and how does the commission come to a decision? Does anyone want to explain this? Come on. For those of you who were here last year, you should be familiar with this. What's the first thing that happens when there's an item on the agenda?
So it's like announce like the topic, I think it down, or then don't you comment on it?
No, so for example, so the chair is going to, so after this, we're going to go to new business. It's going to be elections for chair, vice chair, and treasurer. And then there's going to be a staff report. Second thing in the process of the meeting. And at that point, that's when, being the staff person, will explain what's happening. What is it that you're voting on, that you're going to be deciding. Then, once the report is done, it's right there. it's your opportunity to ask questions, to get clarification. Maybe you don't understand something. Maybe there's something missing in the staff. Maybe there's, something that you just don't understand anymore. More clarification, whatever it is. But that's your opportunity to ask questions. At that point, once that's done, then the chair opens it up for comment. If there are members of the public who wish to speak on the item, they certainly can. Now, there is a time limit on how long it is. So it's 3 minutes. And if they go over that, then it's my job to say. If whether there is public comment or not, then it goes back to more discussion. And that's where the commission can start to talk about how they feel about the item, how they're going to vote. And then once that discussion concludes, then the chair is going to ask a motion. It could be the chair who makes the motion, or it could be another commissioner. Then someone else needs to second it. If no one seconds it, then the chair, then whoever made the motion has to now redo the motion. Maybe they need to change something, because if no one seconds the motion, then it can't proceed, can't move on. But let's say another commissioner does second the motion, then the chair will say, hey, let's vote. Then we will go around each person saying whether or not you support it, or yay, or nay, yes or no. The vote happens, and then the chair will announce the vote, whether it's 11-0, maybe it's 6-5, 2, whatever it is. If you don't want to vote, you can, what's it called? Remember? I heard someone say abstain. And that basically means that you are not voting in support or against, you are just participating in that.
And sometimes if you're going to abstain, you have to say why you're abstaining. Why can't you on the item? Otherwise, as commissioners, you're expected to vote. That's your job.
Okay, all right. So how to act during a meeting. Kind of like how you, well, I don't want to say how you are at schools. Look, this is.
We hope you're polite and respectful.
Yes.
As well.
And keep in mind too, we've got you on video, so. Whatever you're doing, it's gonna be captured. Yes, be polite, be respectful. You may not agree with another commissioner's point of view. It's okay. It's okay. It just means that we're gonna have a nice, lively discussion. But even so, you still need to remain polite, respectful of each other's views. You need to listen to everyone's opinion. Everyone's opinion counts equally. Listen to the feedback that both staff provide, as well as members of the public. Oftentimes I've seen it where the commission, whether it's this commission or another commission, they're blindsided by for whatever reason until someone from the public points it out. And then they're like, oh, it's really interesting. Oftentimes it's beneficial to them. This is very focus on the issues, not the personalities. I can't control who you like and dislike, but it's really important to listen to what others. So you may not take this person personally for whatever reason, but what they're saying makes a lot of sense to you. Hopefully you don't discount it just because you don't. We don't like the way they, or whatever, something about them that you don't. But hopefully you're able to focus on the issues, not the person. This is the chair's job to make sure that the commission stays on topic. I've seen it where the commission starts kind of going off in a different direction and it's not even relevant to what you're talking about. So it's important that the chair brings it back to what it is that's on the agenda. One thing I didn't mention in the Brown Act is that they cannot talk about something that's not on the agenda. So if it's not on here, we can't talk. And be prepared. So you will receive the meeting packet typically on the Friday before Monday meeting. And you have 3 days, 3 days to review. And it just means set aside a few minutes and just look it over. You know, what is it that you're gonna be talking about? So you don't walk in totally blindsided. You didn't know we were. You had time to look at it. Listen, all of you took time out of your day to submit an application, show up for an interview, be grilled by members of the city council in public, in the council chambers. So I'm anticipating that you want to be here. You are not here just to add it to your resume. You really genuinely want to be here. You feel like you have understanding of what the issues are that are affecting the youth and teens of Gilroy, and you are going to do the best job you can to represent. Okay, on this one, I am going to defer to the commissioner. What is the role of the chair? What does the chair do?
They like kind of like run the meeting, like they kind of keep it organized
Yes.
and like go through the agenda.
What else?
We get the presentation, look at it.
Yes, and we're gonna watch that. Too. Is there anything else? Okay, so the chair is also the representative of the commission. So there's the commission and then there's the chair. For every commission, the chair is always the one that is one who's seen as kind of the representative symbol of the commission. So like Maya had said, they're the ones who also will present to the city council here. Because they're the ones who were elected to be in charge of running the meetings.
Chair should also make sure when they're running the meeting that they give everyone the opportunity to be heard. They encourage every member of the commission to provide their input on an item and make sure that everybody gets that chance to speak on an item. And then as they're going through the meeting, by the agenda, they encourage members of the public to speak during comment on any items.
And one of the things that I always encourage the chair to do is to speak last. So let everyone else have a chance to say whatever it is that they feel, and then the chair can, of course, also provide their own input. But I always prefer to see when the chair allows others to speak, makes it more of an inclusive.
And that happens a lot in city council meetings with the mayor. The mayor is running the meeting. The mayor will prompt all the different council members to speak on an item, and most often will speak last.
Okay, so we've learned what the chair does. What does the vice chair do?
They basically like take over whenever the chair isn't present, so like go on the meeting, like if the chair that.
Yes, so the vice chair should always be prepared to run the meeting. Just in case, for whatever reason, chair, like tonight, doesn't show. Okay, and the treasurer, what does the treasurer do? So,
The treasurer like manages the finances for the year and also.
yes. So the treasurer will also deliver a financial report. The youth commission has a very small budget. And they will be delivering that report to the new bylaws 3 times during the school year. And I will work with the treasurer to ensure that the budget is ready to go. Okay, serving on a committee. What is that? So
sometimes for different events, like in the past, we had our Royal Red Carpet, for example, we had different committees that would, like break up and manage the parts of it, so there's like a decorations committee and a PR committee and entertainment committee, and all those committees work together to help to pull off the event, but also it's like getting work done. More efficiently.
Anyone want to add anything else? Okay, here's the meeting calendar, so now, this is the schedule. And what I'll do is email you all these dates, so you know, every Monday, every month, there's a meeting here at 6 o'clock. I say as of now, because every so often, for whatever reason, maybe because it's a holiday, or we know that there's not gonna be enough commissioners for that particular day to have a meeting, we'll have to change it. But like I said, as of today, this is the meeting schedule. And the youth commission does not meet in June, so it's just during the school. Absences, so it's hard to be an effective commissioner if you're not. And city council, it's a policy about it. So if you miss more than 33% of the total regular meetings scheduled to be held in that calendar year, you will be subject to potential termination. That will be decided ultimately by the city council. So if there are, I think I counted earlier, there are 10 meetings. It's 30, so it has to be more than 33%. So how many meetings would that be when you call it potential for being removed? Four, yeah. So once you hit 4, then I know it's clerk, and that's within the calendar year. I'm sorry, not the calendar year, the school year. And then I will notify city clerk, and then they will bring. So be here. The thing too is, if you think about it, if you miss 4 meetings, I can really know what's going on. You're not going to be very involved, and like I said, it's really hard to be effective if you're not here. Communication. So I will send you the meeting agenda, the meeting packet. Remind you we have meetings. So if you have any questions, you can text, you can email, that's fine. But it's very important that, so here's the thing. It's very small that you do communicate with me. You're not able to make it, just so I know. What happens is, if enough of you aren't going to be at the meeting, I'm gonna have to cancel, because we won't have enough. So if you're not gonna be able to make it, this is something the youth commission, and I don't mean not just the present members, but historically, it's always had trouble doing, which is using city email. So you all have a city email account, including the newest commissioners. I'm actually going to send you information about it later this week on how to use it. It's really, really easy. Problem is that what I have found is that commissioners forget to have it, and then they forget the password, and then they're totally reliant on communicating with me through either their personal email or through text messaging. What is the problem? What is the problem if you're not using city? Really?
Maybe sometimes if you're contacting other people to be involved at events, it may not look as official as maybe city email that is pretty professional compared to some home.
Yes, yes, that is definitely one of the reasons we should use it. There is another reason too. Anyone know what it is? It's for yes, yes, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, so I think it's a big issue. The city has really good system to prevent that from happening, but nothing is foolproof. Yeah, that's another issue. What else?
I don't know if it's like a private product, but kind of like to make sure that everything's longer be true.
Yes, yes, that is a good segue to what I was gonna say. So, when you are communicating about city business, even if you're using your personal, email, it is actually subject to the Public Records Act. Which means that if someone from the public wants to find out what the commission is talking about, when it comes to, let's just say, the opportunity, they want all of the emails where it's mentioned. The easiest way for us to do that is to just take your city emails and then be able to just put them into a file. Here we go. Because the public has a right to those rights. When you're not using city email, it gets a bit dicey, because that means we may need to get into your personal. And you really want to. That is why you really want to use your city emails, so we don't get into that situation. For those of you who have city emails, who were on the commissions last year, and you need your password to be reset, let me know. It's very easy. And then you can hopefully, not hopefully, you can start using it. Like I said, if everyone has a city email, I know not everyone uses it, but you need to use it for just that reason alone, as well as for some of the other reasons that we're seeing. Bylaws.
Let me go back to
Oh, yes.
email. So make sure that using the city email, that it's professional, as Baruch talked about, and that you are only talking about items of business related to the youth commission on the city email. You don't want to have city email where you're making personal plans because you're friends with one of the commissioners. You don't want to be back and forth on the city email, talking about something personal, or, saying something inappropriate, or even if it's a joke. It doesn't come across as a joke when somebody else is looking at it from outside looking in. So really be mindful of that and be cautious and careful that anything that you, as a commissioner, do on the city email is potentially subject to the Public Records Act and could be requested by a member of the public. And then that's going to be a reflection on you and this whole commission. So we ask that you be really careful, really mindful of that. Always be professional, use it for youth commissioners.
Bylaws. I've mentioned this already a few times. What are the bylaws?
Bylaws are like the rules that we operate. Also like other things what our meetings are, when they start, like what part of the year they start.
Yes, and I'm not going to go into it right now because it's actually on your agenda. So we'll wait to talk about it. But they're actually in your meeting packet. At the end of your meeting packet, you can see the bylaws, what they are. We're going to be talking about that momentarily. So I'm just going to fast forward here. They've been around since the establishment of the Youth Commission, and they've also changed multiple times over the years. They will once again changing tonight. So we'll go over that a little bit. I won't spend too much time on it. Work plan. So this is what is a work plan? What is the work? Who's on the commission? Alpha.
Calendar of the events that will be assisting or running. So we like know what we need to do and like how much time.
Yeah, so and it doesn't have to be just events. It could be policy that you're working on. So not last year, but the year before. Mission worked on that talked about the need for a youth center in Gilroy, because there isn't. And so it's an opportunity for the commission to figure out, which you're not going to do tonight, you'll do it in your next meeting. What is it that you want to accomplish? We will also ensure to make sure that it's also realistic. because some ideas you will not be able to complete within the time frame of the calendar year. Or there might be things that are relatively easy and you might be able to add a couple extra items. So we provide you with that input. For those of you who have been on the commission before, you should have a pretty good idea what the commission is able to do in the amount of time that you have. So how does the work plan get determined? Do I determine the work plan? Does Leanne? Who determines? So,
The commission does at the beginning of the year, like we sit down at the second meeting or so. And plan for the year.
so, one of the things that was on the work plan last year was, the commission supported the breakfast with Santa. Actually, that took place here, this room. What did you guys do for breakfast?
Cookie decorating, arts and crafts.
Yeah, so in addition to doing the digital assistant, they also. Which, by the way, we're doing that this year. The recreation. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about what was on last year's work plan. Okay, so we mentioned, I'm just gonna skip to senior tech day. We already discussed that. Participate in youth focused community events, so breakfast with Santa, and there were some other events. But then the big event, I mentioned it already once. If someone want to explain what it was, the opportunity team fair. This is where the commission spent most of its family. What's the opportunity team?
So basically, it's like, there's a bunch of vendors that we, reached out to and they came to like, we were planning on having it out here at the center, I forgot the name. But then, I think it was weather, so we moved it indoors into the gym and we had like a bunch of like vendors. We had a bunch of teams and people around the areas come in and like talk to vendors for like job opportunities, internships. I think that's it. And then like if you want to like know someone like for a future project or something, it's just like a big thing where teens or youth can meet.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a career fair, but geared toward teams in Gilroy. All of the organizations, businesses that were there were based in Gilroy. So, there were over 100 participants. We had it indoors, as May said. The commission, what did the commissioners do leading up to the meeting? We're very busy.
Yeah, it took a lot of planning. We had to like reach out to all the vendors. And then we set up like the whole inside, like tables and things like that. Check people in. I took photos of the event, which is kind of fun. And yeah, it was a lot of like reaching out to the vendors and planning out like how to get the word out.
Anything else? Anyone else want to add anything? Well, I heard from many of the vendors that they were very successful in recruiting job applicants, providing internships, and also recruiting volunteers. It was a real win-win. Okay, so the final clip is the end of the year council presentation, which I thought would be great to watch. It's only a few minutes long. And again, Chair is the one who presented it, and it kind of gives you an overview of what the commission did this year. Okay, this is the mayor, and she's going to introduce.
We have the annual presentation by the Gilroy Youth Commission. I don't need to start this off.
No.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Nguyen, and I'm honored to stand before you today as a representative of the Gilroy Youth Commission. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for the privilege to share with you the impactful work undertaken by the Gilroy Youth Commission. Today, our objective is to provide with you an overview of our accomplishments this year. One of the highlights of this year was our heartwarming Breakfast with Santa event. Our commissioners took the lead in organizing arts and crafts projects, engaging over 200 of our youth, and served breakfast to families in our community. In addition to our youth engagement efforts, our commissioners dedicated their time and expertise to serve the seniors in our community through the Senior Digital Assistance Program. Their patience and expertise were invaluable in helping our seniors navigate technology and stay connected with their loved ones. Moving on, I'm excited to share a brief overview of our commissioner's recent experience at the first Yakutaka conference attended since COVID-19. Speaking on behalf of myself and the other commissioners, we found the conference exceptionally impactful. We engaged with local government leaders, participated in workshops, and overall, we truly enjoyed the experience. Finally, I'm excited to highlight the hard work of our commissioners throughout the 2023 and 2024 year. We culminated in the successful planning of Opportunity. In the beginning of the year, we recognized the need for accessible pathways for teens. Because of this, we created a dynamic job fair specifically tailored towards teenagers. Opportunity served as a one-stop shop where local teens could explore a diverse range of jobs, internships, and volunteer opportunities. Our team built upon the previous year's success, reaching out to vendors, promoting the event through schools and social media, and coordinating logistics to set up the venue. We also handed out thank you baskets to vendors and raffled off prizes to participants. Now we will watch a short clip of the event itself. Overall, our event was a whopping success with an attendance of over 150. Opportunity brought together various organizations and businesses, offering our youth valuable connections to kickstart their professional journey. I would like to express my gratitude to our commissioners for their dedication and effort, and Adam and Vince for their support on making Opportunity a reality. I'm pleased to present the focus of our efforts throughout the year, centered on serving the diverse demographic of our community. In conclusion, our focus on serving youth, teens, and seniors, coupled with our collaborative efforts to strengthen our community, reflects our unwavering commitment to create a more inclusive and supportive environment for everyone in Gilroy. Thank you for your time.
Right, so that's a snapshot of what the commission did. Okay, and that is the end of the orientation. Are there any questions? Okay, all right, for the sake of time, because this meeting is running a little longer than normal. Let's get to the next item. Mr. James.
So the next item is new business. So can we get a staff report?
Yes, so the next item is the elections for chair, vice chair, and treasurer for the 2024-25 youth commission. So if you open up your packet, you should see it in your staff report. It's right after the minutes. Right after the minutes, okay. And we've talked about the duties, so I'm not gonna rehash that. What the chair does, again, they're running the meeting. They're going to be presenting to the city council the end of the year, they should be familiar with how to run a meeting. We talked about opening up for public comment, getting questions, allowing the public to speak. So they should have some comfort and experience being able to do that. The vice chair, same thing, only when the chair is not here. And of course, the treasurer is someone who is going to be working closely with me on the youth commission budget. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to see if there are anyone who is interested for each position. We'll start with the chair. Okay, now, if you run for a position and you don't get it, you can then run for another position, say the vice chair or treasurer. So there's no limit. You can run for if you don't get one or second. You will have, I'm only gonna give you 30 seconds to make a quick speech about why you should be the chair. Or when it comes to the vice chair, why you should be the vice chair. Treasurer, why you should be the treasurer. You've got 30 seconds to talk in real time. Once we figure out who is going to be running for what office, if there is more than one person running, so if there's only one person running, let's say for vice chair, then we'll just do kind of a formal vote. But as long as they get one vote, they're pretty much going to get it. If there are more than one person, then we're going to do a secret ballot. It's not really much of a secret. I'll know what the results are, and then I'll announce it. But you will write down who you will support for chair, vice chair, and treasurer, and then I'll tabulate it really quickly and deliver the results. Sound good? All right, so we're going to start with the chair. Like I said, if you run for the chair, you don't get the chair position, you have the option of running for the vice chair. Run for vice chair, you don't get the position, and you can run for treasurer. Okay?
And you can nominate yourself,
Yes.
or you can nominate someone else on the commission that you think would be good for a particular role, but then that person has to accept the nomination. They have to be willing to take it forward.
So if they don't accept it, then they're not on the ballot. Any questions? Okay, let's open it up for chair. This is for the 2024-2025 term. It will be essentially 12 months. So they'll start today, and then a year from now, at this meeting. So, does anyone want to run for chair? Or want to nominate someone? Commissioner James.
I'd like to nominate myself for chair.
Okay. Does anyone else want to run for chair or nominates? Commissioner,
I nominate on my, chair.
I accept.
okay. Right, Dan. Is Dan Meyer or Dan May? Dan. All right, anyone else?
Nominate Alfred, since I think he has a lot of experience and like right now. It's all about like his, I guess he did for chair. You know, he stepped up and gave him a chair.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would like to nominate Sophie for chair because she's like, she like raised her hand most of the time while we're doing anything.
That's so sweet. I'm sorry. This is my last meeting. That's my term's ended. Thank you. That's really sweet. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? No? Okay. All right, so, let's do this first. Yes. Let's do this first, because again, if you don't get the chair, then you have the option of running for the vice chair. Okay. All right, so I want you to write down and then fold the piece of paper in half. Yeah, this sounds like it's fifth grade. Right, fold it in half and then we're gonna come pick it up and then we'll do a quick count. And whoever gets the majority of votes wins. If there's a tie for whatever reason, there shouldn't be, because there's 9 of you, then we redo it until we break the tie. Okay, so,
Keep your paper to yourself.
okay, all right, so I'm gonna, remember, fold it. All right, we're voting right off the chair. This way, if one of the nominees doesn't get it, they have a chance to run for. And. Be with you in a second. Okay, congratulations to Commissioner James. You are. Okay, all right. Now we will do the vice chair. The vice chair, who would like to either nominate someone or nominate yourself for vice chair? Commissioner Surratt.
I would like to nominate, Margaret for, vice chair.
I accept.
Okay. All right. Okay, would anyone else like to run for vice chair? Or nominate vice chair? Going once.
I nominate Emily Lai for vice chair.
Okay, does Emily accept the nomination?
Sure, I accept the nomination.
All right. Oh, we forgot to do the speech for chair. Oh, I'm sorry.
You can do an acceptance speech.
Okay,
Do they like to?
okay, all right, last call for vice chair. Okay, going once, going twice, okay. Maya, would you like to give a 2-second speech? You can sit down.
So I'd like to be vice chair because, I mean, I've had like a year of experience now and I have still a year left. Last year, I saw like my grade Jamie was chair, did as chair. I think Alfred is a great, would be a, well, is a great chair now. So I, like, one of you guys could support him if he isn't there or, you know, the decision making process.
Okay. And good. All right. And. Okay,
I kind of joined halfway through the year last year, but I definitely feel like I made a pretty strong impact into all the meetings that I showed up and definitely spent a lot of time for this food commission. So I hope I can do the same next for this year as well, dedicating more time to.
okay, all right. Okay, we all have another piece of paper. Okay, so please put down who you would like and then hold it up and we'll collect it. This is for vice chair. Okay. Listen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, congratulations to Maya. You were the vice chair. Okay, for the final seat, it is treasurer. Treasurer. Okay, are there any nominations, whether it's yourself or someone else? Oh, got two. Okay,
Well, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Adame because he's always positive attitude and I think he would keep great track of all the finance.
do you accept the nomination? Okay. All right, is there anyone else who would like to nominate someone or nominate themselves for treasurer?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Lai for treasurer because I've known her for a few years and I know what she's capable of. I think she'd be really effective at this role.
Do you accept? Okay. All right, okay, well, are there any other nominations? Going once, going twice. Okay, nominations closed. Boo, do you want to do 30-second speech?
Yes, speech.
Actually, you can still pass them out.
I don't want to be walking while they're talking.
Okay, all right.
I feel like I have a lot of ideas that I think I would be able to present and be able to handle using the finances that we are given. I feel like we would use the budget to maximize the amount of potential that we could use for all of our projects, but also save some for future projects, future youth commissioners. I've attended every meeting and I feel like I work well with others. We can communicate well, make sure everyone's ideas are listed down monitored.
Good, right, just perfect amount of time too. Okay, and Commissioner.
I hope, kind of like the same thing like I said earlier, but I hope to learn and grow more from the commission. I definitely want to spend more time and dedicated to this commission. I've done a lot of work within like using finances, like especially like in like meeting settings. I know how to build a budget and kind of figure out the finances and like the logistics behind it. So I think I have experience that I can use it.
All right. Okay. We have two nominees for the position of treasurer. Right. Come by. You are eight. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, congratulations to Commissioner Lai. You will be the treasurer. All right, and thank you for those who ran, and this will be a great year. We have one more item on the agenda in the meeting.
What do you have motion for revision?
Oh, actually, before you do anything, I just realized we need to, motion to approve the officers.
Can I get a motion to approve the newly elected chair, vice chair, and treasurer for the 2024-2025 school year?
I'll motion to approve the newly elected chair, vice chair, and treasurer for the 2024-2025.
Can I get a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion to approve the elected chair, vice chair, and treasurer.
All in favor, say aye. Sorry. Aye.
Aye.
The approval passes with 9 to 0 to 2.
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on to old business. Can I get a staff report?
Yes, okay, so the last staff report of the evening and attached is the bylaws. And we talked a little bit about this earlier. So these bylaws were created more than 20 years ago when the youth commission was established. They have gone through several changes over the years. More recently, actually, in May, the commission proposed to make additional changes, and the changes are in red. So you can see what the current bylaws are and then where they are. The changes, those will be in red, things have been crossed out, verbiage has been added. And in May, the commission had approved to recommend this, but in order to adopt the actual bylaws, it takes place at the following meeting, which is actually in the bylaws. So you can't make changes to the bylaws and implement them within the same meeting. Okay, so it gives the commission an opportunity to weigh in if they have a change of heart after a meeting and realize, you know what, I don't approve of this change and this change. I'm gonna make an amendment to the changes that have already been. But if you do approve them all. So I'm gonna just go through very quickly the changes that have been proposed, okay, and what it means. Yes.
I'm so sorry for interrupting. I don't know where a possible public comment could come in. This is something that I didn't let you know that was coming up. And I represent AUW, and so I'm not sure when I can just say my little piece about AUW and how we can support, if we can, anything that the youth commission is going to do. So where would that?
We did public comment before you got here,
Oh,
but we can,
It's not on the agenda.
but we can probably do it at the end. We can do public comment again at the end.
at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
I didn't see that. I see. On number 6, so sorry about
That's okay. Okay, okay, so proposed changes are in red. So if you go on page 1 of the bylaws, looks like this. First page. If you go to the bottom, you'll see where the changes are. It's also explained in the staff here. But if you go to section 2, number 3, that's where the first set of changes. So it talks about how the terms of the appointments shall commence on the 1st of July of each year and end on June 30th. So right now, the terms start, they end on September 30th and they start on October 1st. Why is that? So why would that be?
Some like universities or colleges. So like, right now, or that's conditions from the city right now. And then, yeah, mainly like attendance.
Yeah, and there's another reason too. So not last year, but the year before, the commission's first meeting was in October to accommodate the terms, right? And so we did orientation in October, and then we started the work plan in November, which means the commission didn't really get going until this. And so now you're almost halfway through the year and you're just starting out on your work. So by ending the terms earlier, you're able to get a jump start, to have more time to plan and execute whatever it is that you want. And policy paper. Okay, and then it also says on 3A, for those graduating high school during their first year of their 2-year term and are leaving the area of college or for another reason, commissioner shall notify the staff liaison no later than May 1 of that year whether they're going to continue to serve on the commission during the second year of their term. So some of you who have either been reappointed or appointed have a 2-year term, but you're a senior in high school. And so if you're going off to college and you're not going to be here in the following fall, so a year from now, then we need to know what is your plan, because otherwise, that seat would technically not be available for someone else to be here, even though you're not visiting here and be able to attend. All right, so let's keep going. I'm on section 3, page 2. Where it says the treasurer. I had mentioned this briefly earlier. So instead of providing a report every meeting, they will provide a report for 3 meetings. It says actually August, December, and April. So what we'll do is we'll have a report at the next meeting. We didn't have one tonight. But we'll have one at the next meeting that we have a treasurer, and we'll also do one in December and April. Okay. Okay, so section 4, we just remove the words to the media. And so basically, we're not going to notify the media that there's an upcoming meeting. This means that we have to do that. If the media is interested, they can just go to the webpage and find out when the next meeting is. Okay, and then if you go to the next page, page 3, at the top here, number 5, the first meeting of each year shall be an orientation meeting, right? Which is what we did this year. It shall include outgoing members of the commission. Doesn't mean that outgoing members of the commission can't attend the meeting, but by putting it in writing means that they're obligated to attend the meeting. So we're just going to remove that. Section 6, now in the middle of page 3, where it says committees, number 2 and number 3 are being recommended for removal. Youth who satisfy the membership requirements for membership of the commission, but who are not on the commission, may be appointed to any task-oriented commission by the approval of the commission. What does that mean? That someone who's not on the commission can serve on a committee under the youth commission. And in the years that I've been here, it's never happened. Why is it not? So we recommend that you remove it. Number 3, the commission may appoint representatives of the youth commission to serve as liaisons to other policy bodies and groups, city council representatives. The commission shall, groups of the city, commission representatives shall report out to the full commission of the actions said meetings. So again, this has not been practiced for many years. If a commissioner is interested in attending a commission meeting, let's say it's the Parks and Recreation Commission, they're more than welcome to attend. And they're more than welcome to share their experience and what the commission talked about at a future youth commission meeting. But it doesn't need to be written in the Bible. Obligation that this commission. That is it. So tonight will be the adoption of the changes. You can remove one of these changes, but you cannot add anything in addition to what's already. So. Bring it back to the acting chair.
The chair now.
He is the chair. Well, technically, if you see it in the bylaws, it doesn't take effect.
Oh, that's. Chair.
Yes.
Uh,
Wait, hold on. Do you want to ask if there are any questions?
Does anyone have any questions or concerns about the bylaws?
And then you want to open up for public comment?
Do we have any public comment on our bylaws?
And then any final discussion?
Any final discussion?
And then if not, we can do that. Okay,
All right, can I get a motion to approve the adoption of youth commission bylaws for the 2024-2025 year?
Motion to adopt the changes made to the bylaws.
Can we get a second to that motion?
A second, the motion to approve the, changes made to the bylaws of the commission 2024.
And now, all in favor, please say aye. I'm sorry. Sure. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And for those of you who have recently been appointed, the change in term does not apply to you. So this will apply to any commissioners from here on out who haven't been. Okay, so if you've already just been appointed, it doesn't involve them. It's happening after.
Do you have any staff or commissioner comments?
Just next meeting is September 9th. Because this meeting started late in the month, that's why it seems.
And then we're gonna do an additional public comment period.
You're open up quickly for comment.
We'll open up for public.
So you have 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. I'm so impressed with all of you. It's just so great to see you guys working so hard for your, and so my name is Jan Scuffy, and I'm a member of the AAUW, that's American Association of University Women. We've been here in Gilroy many, many years. But as it's a national group, and it has a mission to advance gender equity for women and girls through research, education, and advocacy. And our vision is equity for all. And we include research using facts and analysis, education, and advocacy, fighting for pay and economic opportunity for women, removing barriers to gender equity, and advocating for laws and policies to ensure equity and end discrimination. The values are nonpartisan, fact-based, principled, and inclusive, and intersectional. And so it was founded in 1881 by a small group of female college graduates who wanted to open the doors for women's career advancement. So why am I here? So I started a group called the Environmental Committee through AAUW here in Gilroy. And one of AAUW's values is a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. So what we want to do is support you if you have any projects that have to do with the environment, with climate change, with educating, advocacy, anything like that. We would be happy, our group would be happy to support you and let you lead us into the new year. And just wanted to put that out there, and I can leave my contact information with someone. And if you have anything like that in your work plan for the coming year, just feel free to call me, and we'd be happy to support you. We are thinking about having an Earth Day celebration maybe next April, but we want to follow your lead. So just let us know if we can support you in any way. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I send you my information? Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'll adjourn this meeting at 7:36 p.m.
All right. Good job, commission. Yes, so if you have a pen, could you bring it back to me? Thank you. Another request, could you just step the stairs and breathe? Great, thank
Do
you.
we need to move the table?
You could do that too, that would be great. Worried about my table, I got a lot of stuff on it. Yes, you write your email there and then I'll hand it. Yeah, it's funny too, because they're working on one. Impressive.
Yeah.